So we
Mm-hmm.
are at stage 11, paragraph page 1011.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 1011. And our
Mm-hmm.
last head word was rare. New word type of lesson, like the
Mm-hmm.
rare end. Okay,
Okay.
so let's start with our revision. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. First question. Okay, so let me scroll up a little bit. 1045. Okay, here we go. When you first started at this school, did you have any prior knowledge of the Callan method? When you
Mm-hmm.
first started at this school, did you have any prior knowledge of the Callan method? Yes or no?
No,
When I first
when I
started
first
at
started
this school,
at this
I
school,
didn't have
I didn't
any
have
prior
any
knowledge
prior
of the
knowledge
Callan method.
of the Callan method.
Very good. Prior to the use of computers in industry, was factory output generally lower? Prior to the use of computers in industry, was factory output generally lower? Yes.
Yes,
Prior to the use
prior to the use
of computers
of
in
computers
industry,
in industry,
factory output
factory output
was generally
was
lower.
generally lower.
Very good. Which is higher priority for you, having plenty of spare time or having plenty of money? Which is higher priority for you, having plenty of spare time or having plenty of money?
Mhm.
Having plenty
Having
of
plenty of spare time
is higher
is a
priority for
higher
me
priority for me
than having
than
plenty of
having
money.
plenty of money.
Very good. Is it common for a person to have a scientific mind but also possess great artistic talent? Is it common for a person to have a scientific mind but also possess great artistic talent? No, it
No,
isn't common
it isn't
for
common
a person
for a
to
person
have a
to have
scientific mind
scientific
but
mind
also
but
possess
also possess
a great
a
artistic
great
talent.
artistic talent.
Very good. Would you say one needed scientific skills to be an inventor? Would you say one needed scientific skills to be an inventor? Yes or no?
No,
I wouldn't
I
say
wouldn't
one
say
needed
one needed
scientific skills
scientific
to
skills
be an
to
inventor.
be an inventor.
Very good. If a series of similar crimes occurred in one area within a short period, what might the police assume? If a series of similar crimes occurred in one area within a short period, what might the police assume? If a series
If a
of
series
similar
of
crimes
similar comments
occurred in one
occurred
area
in one
within a
area
short
within
period,
a short
the
period,
police might
the
assume
police might
that just
assume
one
that
person,
just
one person
just one person
was responsible
was
for the
responsible
crimes.
for the crimes.
Gregor, what do we call each individual program that the TV series is composed of? What do we call each individual program that the TV series is composed of? We call
We call
each individual
each
program
individual program
that a TV
that a
series
TV
is
series
composed of
is composed
an
of
episode.
episode.
Right? If a cat's territory was invaded by a fox, do you think the cat would be more liable to fight the fox or run away? If a cat's territory was invaded by a fox, do you think that the cat would be more liable to fight the fox or run away? If
Mhm.
a cat's
If a
territory
cat's territory
was invaded
was
by a
invaded
fox,
by a fox,
I think the cat
I think the cat
would
ran
be more
away.
liable
Would be more
to
liable
run
to
away.
run away.
Very good. Okay, next. Let me scroll down. Okay. What do we mean by a cover letter? What do we mean by a cover letter? By a cover
By
letter,
a cover
we
letter
mean a formal letter
means a formal letter
that we send
that we
along
send
with
along with
our CV
our CB
when we apply
when
for a
we
job.
apply for a job.
Very good. What are the three main reasons for writing a cover letter? What are the three main reasons for writing a cover letter? The three main
The three
reasons.
main
Reasons.
reasons.
One more. The three main
The three
reasons
main reasons
for writing a
for
cover
writing a
letter
cover letter
are to say
are to
which
say
job
which
we're
job
applying
we're
for
applying
to
for
persuade the
to
reader
persuade a
that
reader
our
that
CV
our
is
CV
worth reading
is worth
and
reading
to let them
and
know
to let them know
our availability
our
for
availability
interview.
for interview.
Greg, when writing an application letter or email to someone called David Jones, for example, how should we start the letter? Dear David Jones, or Dear Mr. Jones? When writing an application letter or email to someone called David Jones, for example, how should we start the letter? Dear David, Dear David Jones or Dear Mr. Jones, when writing
when
an
writing
application
an
letter
application
or
letter
email
or
to
email
someone
to
called
someone called
David Jones,
David
for
Jones,
example,
for
we
example,
should start the
we should
letter
start the
with
letter
the
with
with Dear Mr.
with
Jones.
dear Mr. Jones.
How can we start the letter if we don't know the person's name? How can we start the letter if we don't know the person's name? If we don't know
If you
the
don't know
person's
the
name,
person's
we
name,
can start the
we can
letter
start the letter
with Dear Sir
with dear
or
sir
Dear Madam.
or dear madam.
Megan, what's the first piece of information we should put in a cover letter? What's the first piece of information we should put in a cover letter? The first piece
The first
of
piece
information
of
we
information
should put
we should
in a
put
cover letter
in a cover
is
letter
why we're
is
writing.
why you are
Why
writing.
we're writing.
We are writing.
Megan, one more. In a cover letter
In a cover
is
letter
why
is why
we're writing.
we are writing.
Megan, give me some examples. Give me some examples, please. I am writing
I'm
to
writing
apply
to
for the
apply
position
for the
of.
position of.
I am writing to
I'm writing
inquire
inquire
whether you have
whether
any
you have
vacancies.
any vacancies.
Megan, what else should we say in the introduction paragraph? What else should we say in the introduction paragraph? In the introduction
In the
paragraph,
introduction paragraph,
we should also
we
say
should also
where
say
and when
where in the when
we saw the
we
advert
saw the advert
for the position,
for the
if
position
appropriate.
if appropriate.
Wait, in the main paragraph of the letter, how can we persuade the reader to consider our application? In the main paragraph of the letter, how can we persuade the reader to consider our application? In the main
In the
paragraph
main paragraph
of the letter,
of the
we
letter,
can
we
persuade
can
the reader
persuade the
to
reader
consider
to
our
consider
application
our application
by highlighting
by
and
highlighting
summarizing
and summarizing
any
any
particularly
particularly
relevant experience
relevant
and
experience
skills
and
from
skills
our
from
CV,
our
and by
CV
showing
and by showing
enthusiasm
enthusiasm
for the company
for the
and job.
company and job.
What else can we do? What else can we do? We can mention
We can mention
any relevant
any
abilities
relevant abilities
and personal
and
qualities
personal
we have.
qualities we have.
How should we conclude the letter? How should we conclude the letter? We should conclude
We should
the letter
conclude the letter
by thanking the
by
company
thanking the company
for considering
or considering
our application
our
and
application
mentioning
and
our
mentioning
availability
our availability
for interview.
or interview.
Where if we've used a name at the start of the letter, how should we finish it? If we've used a name at the start of the letter, how should we finish it? If we've used
If you use
a name at
a
the
name
start
at the
of the
start
letter,
of the letter,
we should finish it
we should finish
with
it
yours
with
sincerely.
your sincerely.
And how should we finish if we haven't used a name at the start? And how should we finish if we haven't used a name at the start? If we haven't
If
used
we haven't
a
used
name at the
a
start,
name at the
we
start,
should finish
we
with
should finish with
yours
yours
faithfully.
faithfully.
Very good. Okay. Do you agree that mobile phone use on trains should be restricted to a limited number of coaches? Do you agree that mobile phone use on trains should be restricted to a limited number of coaches? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
agree
don't
that
agree
mobile phone
that mobile
use
phone use
on trains
on
should
trains
be
to
restricted
be
to a
restricted
limited
to a
number
limited
of
number
coaches.
of coaches.
Right, and if such a regulation were established, do you think most people would comply with it? And if such a regulation were established, do you think most people would comply with it? Yes or no?
No,
If such
if
a
such
regulation
a
were
regulation
established,
were
I
established,
don't think
I don't
most
think
people
most
would
people
comply with
would
it.
comply with it.
Wait, when do people usually frown? When do people usually frown? People
People
usually frown
usually
when they
frown
feel
when
annoyed,
they feel
when
annoyed,
they're
when
confused,
they are
or
confused,
when they're
or then they are
when they're
when they are
concentrating hard.
concentrating hard.
Very good. Give me an example of the expression out of the question. Give me an example of the expression out of the question, please. I'm sorry.
I'm
You
sorry,
can't borrow
you
my
can't
car.
borrow my car.
It's totally
It's
out of the
totally
question.
out of the question.
You've had
You've had
too many
too
accidents.
many accidents.
Very good. If you'd finished using a barbecue but the fire was still glowing, would you put it out with water, for example? or wait for it to go out on its own? If you finish using a barbecue but the fire was still glowing, would you put it out with water, for example, or wait for it to go out on its own? If
Mhm.
I'd finished
If I'd finished
using a barbecue
using a
but
barbecue,
the fire
but the
was
fire
still glowing,
was still growing,
I'd
I'd
put
put it
it out
out
with water.
with water.
Very good. Okay, next. If a boxer manages to knock his opponent down easily in both the first and second round, can he reasonably expect to be able to knock him out fairly soon after? If a boxer manages to knock his opponent down easily in both the first and second round, can he reasonably expect to be able to knock him out fairly soon after? Yes. If
Yes.
a boxer
If a boxer
manages to
manages
knock his
to knock
opponent
his
down
opponent down
easily in
easily
both the
in
first
both the
and
first
second round,
and the second
he
round,
can
he
reasonably
can reasonably
expect to be able
expect to be
to knock
able
him out
to knock him
fairly
out
soon after.
very soon after.
Very good. What do we mean by a knockout competition? What do we mean by knockout competition? By a knockout
By a knockout
competition, we
competition,
mean
we
one that
mean
consists
one that consists
of different
of
rounds
different rounds
and where
and
only
where
only
only
the winner
the winner
of each
of
match
each match
goes through
goes through
the next round.
the next round.
Very good. Name some types of vehicles. Name me some types of vehicles, please. Some types
Some
of
types
vehicles
of
are
vehicles
cars,
are cars,
vans,
vans,
lorries,
lorries,
motorbikes,
motorbikes,
horse-drawn carts,
horse-drawn carts,
etc.
etc.
Why do some lorries have long vehicle written on their rear ends? Why do some lorries have long vehicle written on the rear ends? Some lorries
Some
have
lorries
long
have
vehicle
long
written
vehicles
on their
written
rear
on their
ends
rear
to
ends
indicate
to
to the
indicate to
vehicles
the vehicles
coming behind
come
that
behind
it will be
it
difficult
will be
to
difficult
overtake.
to overtake.
Very good. Okay, that's the end of our revision.
Mhm.
Let's have new work. Okay, to repeat, merely.
Merely.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word merely is an adverb. It means just or
Mm.
only. For example,
Mm.
I wouldn't say learning to cook was merely a
Mhm.
matter of following recipe.
Mhm.
Let's practice. Would you say learning to cook was merely a matter of following recipes? Would you say learning to cook was merely a matter of following recipes? Yes or no?
No,
I wouldn't say
I would
learning
say
to cook
learning a
was
cook
merely
was
a
merely
matter of
a matter
following
of
recipes.
following recipes.
Very good. Next, repeat. Principle,
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 melody.
melody.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word principle is an adjective. It means most important. For example, we
Mm.
spell the word principle in the following sentence. The principal melody in this piece of music is known all around the world.
Mhm.
Principal.
Mhm.
The word principle is a noun. It means a moral rule or belief that helps you what is
Mhm.
right and wrong and that influence your action. For example,
Mhm.
we spell the word principle in the following sentence. My basic principle in life is to treat everybody with respect.
Mm.
Principle.
Mhm.
The word melody is a noun. It means a pleasing series of musical notes that form the main part of a song or piece of music. For example,
Mhm.
Beethoven wrote a piece that includes some beautiful melodies.
Mhm.
Let's practice. How do we spell the word principle in the following sentence? The principal melody in this piece of music is known all around the world. How do we
Mhm.
spell the word principal in the following sentence? The principal melody in this piece of music is known all around the world. We spell
We
the
spell
word
the
principal
word principle
in the following
in the
sentence.
following
The
sentence.
principal
The
melody
principal
in
melody
this piece
in
of
this
music
piece of
is
music
known all
is
around the
known
world.
all around the world.
Principal.
P-I-I-N
C-I-P-A-L.
C-I-P-A-L.
Very good. How do we spell the word principle in the following sentence? My basic principle in life is to treat everybody with respect. How do we spell the word principle in the following sentence? My basic principle in life is to treat everybody with respect. We
Mhm.
spell
We
the
spell
word
the
principle
word
in
principle
the following
in the
sentence.
following sentence.
My basic
My
principle
basic
in life
principle in
is
life
to treat
is to treat
everybody with respect.
is with everybody with respect.
P R I N.
P-R-N-I-N.
One more. P R I
P
N
R I N
C I
C I
P L E.
P L E.
Very good. Next, repeat. Bride,
Bride,
groom,
groom,
or bridegroom.
bridegroom.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word bride is a noun. It is a
Mm-hmm.
woman who has just married or is about to be married.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Groom is a noun,
Mm.
or groom or bridegroom is a noun.
Mm-hmm.
It is a man who has just married or is about to be married. For
Mm-hmm.
example, we call a woman and a man on their wedding day the bride and the groom. Okay, let's
Mm-hmm.
practice. What do we call a woman and man on their wedding day? What do we call a man and a woman on their wedding day? We call a woman
We call a
and a
woman
man
and a
on their
man
wedding day
on a wedding
the
day,
bride and
the
groom.
bride and groom.
Very good. Next, repeat orchestra.
Orchestra,
Very good. Okay. Next, violin,
violin,
trumpet,
trumpet,
flute.
flute.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word orchestra is a noun. It is a group of musicians who usually play classical music together and
Mm-hmm.
who are led by a conductor.
Mm-hmm.
Violin is a noun. It is a wooden musical instrument with four strings that are held against the neck and played by moving a bow across the strings.
Mm-hmm.
Trumpet is a noun. It is a brass musical instrument that you blow into that has three buttons which you press to play different notes.
Mm-hmm.
The word flute is also a noun. It is a musical instrument that is shaped like a thin pipe and that is
Mm-hmm.
played by blowing across a hole near one end. For
Mm-hmm.
example, some instruments that we commonly hear in an orchestra are violin, trumpet, flute, etc. Let's practice.
Mm-hmm.
Name some instruments that we commonly hear in an orchestra. Name some instruments that we commonly hear in an orchestra. Some instruments
Some
that we
instruments
commonly
that we
hear
commonly
in
hear
an orchestra
in an
are
orchestra
violin,
are violin,
trumpet, flute,
trumpet, flute,
etc.
etc.
Very good. Next, on behalf of.
On behalf of.
Very good. So listen.
Mm,
The phrase on behalf of means as a representative of someone. For
mm,
example, John thanked the manager on behalf of all the players in the team. So he
mm,
represented the whole team.
representative.
Okay, let's practice. Make a sentence with on behalf of, please.
Mm,
Make a sentence with on behalf of, please.
mhm.
Steve thanked
Steve
the
sent
manager
the
on
manager
behalf of
on
all the
behalf of
players
all players
in the team.
in the team.
Very good. Next, repeat state.
Site,
Very good with the letter S. State.
site.
Very good. Okay, listen.
Mm,
The word site is a noun.
mhm,
When we say site, we mean the place where something was,
mhm,
something is, or something will be in the future.
mhm,
For example, some large office buildings have restaurant on site.
mhm,
The word site is also used to refer to a website. For
mhm,
example, if you want to choose a teacher to have a class with, you can visit our website at www.nativecamp.net.
mhm.
Let's practice. What do we mean by a site? What do we mean by a site? By a site,
By a
we
site,
mean the
we
place
mean the
where
place
something was,
where something was,
is, or
is,
will be,
it will be,
or will be.
or will be.
Greg, do some large office buildings have restaurants on site? Do some large office buildings have restaurants on site? Yes. Some
Yes,
large
some large
office buildings
office
have
buildings have
restaurants on
restaurants
site.
on site.
What else is the word site used to refer to? What else is the word site used to refer to? The word site
The word
is
site
also
is
used
also
to
used
refer
to refer
to a website.
to a website.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Hilarious.
Hilarious.
Burst out laughing.
Burst out laughing.
Laughing. Very good. Okay,
Mm.
so but we stop there for today. Let's
Oh,
move on to
oh,
reading.
okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our reading is at stage 9,
Mm-hmm.
paragraph page 723. Okay,
23.
and 23. And our last head word was
Mm.
scale. Okay, start with idiom 31, sore point.
Okay. Idiom 31. Sore point.
Mm-hmm.
A subject which makes somebody feel unhappy or angry when it is mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
What